Hi, and welcome back. Today I want to talk about a particular topic that I find something really quite powerful and I think useful to remind yourself of. It's about disconnecting to reconnect and the power of social connection. Now, through my career in both public and private health, I've noticed this increase in clients who present with a feeling of loneliness, isolation, and disconnection from others around them. Now, loneliness is one of the leading reasons people ask to see a therapist for assistance. As human beings, we all have an inborn need for social connection, which is this feeling of connection or closeness with another person. Often it's associated with feeling cared for, valued, and loved, and forms the backbone of interpersonal relationships. So why is loneliness and disconnection on the increase? Now, part of the answer to this question is our increasing use of social media. So many of us are connected to our phones throughout the entire day, managing our multiple social media accounts of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and the like. If you sit in a cafe or restaurant and observe those around you, you will likely notice the number of people tapping away on their phones rather than engaging with the person that's directly in front of them. It has become socially acceptable to scroll through your phone in the company of others rather than conversing and forming a human connection with those you're with. People are spending time taking selfies and snaps of their food to post on their social pages, all in the hope of receiving likes online. But is this enough? Does this satisfy our need to connect? Does this create this strong bond with others? Now, I would argue that it doesn't. While social media may give us a quick self-esteem boost when we read the comments others have left us or count the number of likes on our posts, and it cannot live up to the benefits of face-to-face connection and communication. Now, there's no doubt that the online world has proven to be an asset. It's valuable as we work through the global health pandemic of COVID-19 and social distancing. Many of us were using the net to connect with others whilst in lockdown, and businesses were able to have a virtual meeting to keep things afloat. However, in many countries in which the lockdown has ended and they are stepping back into life, discussions about the psychological repercussions of lockdown are being had. The effects of social distancing and isolation on our emotional well-being are being discussed around the world. Cases of depression and anxiety are on the rise. We know the most vulnerable groups to the COVID-19 is the elderly. And to protect them, we have created an isolated state that often goes hand in hand with loneliness and now is being described as a public health issue. Now, loneliness is being linked to poor sleep patterns, increased depressive symptoms, and individuals reacting more intensely to stress, leading to psychological, immune, and cardiovascular health issues. Now, while social distancing may be indispensable right now against the COVID virus, so is social connection. Studies have shown that a lack of social connection is on par as a detriment to health with obesity, smoking, and high blood pressure. On the flip side, regular social connections with others can lead to a 50% increase in longevity by strengthening our immune system and helping us recover from a disease. So what types of social connections lead to the benefits we've just described? Now, two types of social connections lead to increased well-being and overall health. And there's a deep connection between two people and a feeling of belonging within a social group. In regard to the first, which is a deep connection between two people, this may be a friendship or family members or romantic relationships. The key here is quality over quantity. You don't need to have 10 or 20 deep connections with others. Even one deep connection with another person can fulfill that need. And for a deep connection to be formed, it requires mutual respect and understanding and nurturing. The second type of connection, a feeling of belonging to a social group, can again be a group of friends, colleagues, a hobby group, or a religious group. Often the groups will be described as, it feels like I've found my people, I've found my group. There's a strong sense of belonging and inclusion. So how do we start to foster or improve our social connections with others in today's world? Now this can be tricky with the added difficulties of COVID, but some ideas you could consider as restrictions to life are being less reliant on your social media devices and more present with the people around you. It might involve doing something different or perhaps new. Perhaps you've always thought of joining a tennis group or a reading group. Then the next step is sourcing out where and when these groups are held and enrolling or joining them. You might need to try a few different groups in the community before you find one that you feel comfortable with. Maybe you could make more of an effort in your work setting with your colleagues, such as sitting in the lunchroom to eat and conversing with others in the corridors. Every time you make attempts to connect with others, you're one step closer to building your social connections. Sometimes this is not easy and may involve stepping out of your comfort zone, but it's important to remind yourself why it is crucial and the benefits of connections with others. If you're unable to do what we've just talked about due to the COVID restrictions, you can still create an internal connection. Studies have shown that benefits of connecting with others are often linked to a subjective sense of connection. If you feel connected to others on the inside, you still obtain the benefits. This is much the same as feeling lonely in a large group of people. You can feel connected in a group of strangers. You may also need to think outside the box in terms of working around these COVID restrictions and meeting one person regularly for a walk or a chat. It's about being flexible and thinking of ways you can create connections. Now, Brené Brown, a professor at the University of Houston Graduate College of Social Work, specializing in social connection, has stated, a deep sense of love and belonging is an irresistible need of all people. We are biologically, cognitively, physically, and spiritually wired to love, to be loved, and to belong. When those needs are not met, we don't function as we're meant to. We break. We fall apart. We're numb. We ache. We hurt others. We get sick. So what I think is trying to be conveyed here is that social connection is an innate human need. So eat your greens and exercise, yes, but don't forget to connect. Now, thanks very much for listening, and remember, please make any comments or hit the like button. Importantly, subscribe to the Mind Life Flow channel and hit the notifications bell such that you are notified that I'm publishing new videos. Now, thanks very much for watching. Bye for now, And please connect with others.